we're at the end of TruLondon. We're just about to commence. This place is getting converted into a nightclub in about 15 minutes. Not just this room, it's quite a big room with a dance floor. And we're going to be having Ride, which is going to be a good way to let our hair down. But I really wanted to just talk about this event. I think this, as with everything, you know, it's been a really busy event. We've had about 190 people through over the 2 days, and that's a record number for us. Yesterday, as always, first day is a lot busier. Second day is actually a bit deeper, I think, in terms of conversation. Get less people who had a night out together and done all that kind of stuff. And, it reminds me all the time how important that is, that people bond in the evening, they come back in the morning, they might have some sore heads, a few war stories, but they're comfortable with each other's company then, they're comfortable with the company of strangers, and the conversation gets a lot deeper, a bit more open, sometimes a bit more challenging where people respectfully disagree, but there's two things really that have come out of this for me, in that we've had a lot of people who've never been to a True event before, including a lot of people from Loomis and stuff. And I've just had a conversation with them for half an hour. I'm going to be running some events for them later this year because they want to do something that's a bit different. And I've been spending some, and I was just reflecting with them about unconferences and what they felt about the whole concept. They said how great it was, but that they'd had a lot of internal messages, people saying, you know, what do you mean you just move between tracks? It's no presentations, kind of sounds disorganised and everything else. And I think it's quite important. It reflects the same way as really what I talk about when I talk about trusting your employees. I think you have to trust your delegates to be able to work stuff out for themselves, to work out the content that they want, and without too much structure and notices everywhere and timetable, to be able to move about and to be able to figure out that they don't like something or something's not quite what they expected it was going to be, and go into another session. So and to be able to go and get themselves a coffee when they want it, when they're thirsty, and to be able to go and have a beer when they want it, and if they want to go and sit in the bar for a couple of hours and just chat about stuff. Mostly they're chatting about recruiting, so that hasn't changed. I think people who do that, you know, when we do that, that gives us a fantastic opportunity, really, you know, and to actually just say you trust your delegates. I think they really appreciate that. And in the same way as, you know, I talk about employees, and one of the failings is I think we don't trust anyone. We end up trusting a few people over time and say they earn trust. Actually, we hire them, we should trust them until they disappoint us. That should be our outlook, and that's my outlook towards the attendees. And really, I think probably we shouldn't call them attendees, we should call them participants, and maybe I'll be changing that in the future. You know, all the members of the True family just come in, get on with it, sort themselves out, and that bit of how people organise themselves is a big thing. A couple of learning points. We had Bullhorn Reach, Pete Linus here, and they just reflected a story that when they changed their a button on Bullhorn Reach from apply to talk to us, it increased their response rate of people applying by something like 1,000%. So, and this kind of reinforces this engagement thing, that people really have to be 100% committed to press the apply and send their CV off and go through the thing, but they're interested and curious and they want to talk to people. Although that was just one small point, and we got into very interesting conversations about predictive data and a lot of talk about referral mechanisms and networks and how they're going to work, and looked at some pretty cool products for doing that. The other really interesting thing I think that comes out for me is that 18 months ago, you know, when we started out on this True journey, the first True London, didn't really know what to expect. All the talk was about Twitter, and people were trying to figure out how we're going to use this new channel for recruiting. And it was all about Twitter. And actually, I think in the first True London, we didn't actually mention Facebook. I don't think it was even in the social media equation. And from the second and third True London, we started talking about that a bit more. And because of some of the people we had over from the States, there was the whole to-ing and fro-ing about is Facebook a business channel or a personal channel, blah, 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 you know, all the usual stuff. And now actually, it's unusual for us to talk about Twitter, and in all of the conversation, whether it's about employee branding, recruiting, hiring, internal comms, whatever it is, in all of the conversation, Facebook is a central feature. And if I was talking about a reflection on how the market's changed success stories that people got and things that are going really well, I think my big thing would be that you know, it's Facebook. We're all talking about Facebook and what people are doing and what success stories people have got. So I think increasingly that's becoming the channel. Yeah, there's lots of talk about community or network and how should that work. And I'm pretty interested in that. I was really interested in TruRomania in looking at how countries evolve. So as Bolt, and it's something I've talked about quite a lot this week, which is really how as Romania is evolving and developing the social culture, the new people going to say Facebook are going to as a business channel. You know, business channel first, personal channel second. So attitudes to social are definitely changing. And the tools are getting cleverer. They always do. The big area for me now that I'm spending my time looking at is this predictive internet behaviour. And I learned a bit more about that, you know, about how you can predict what people are going to do next based on what they're Googling, what they're searching, what they're doing with their LinkedIn profiles, Facebook, Twitter. If we can harness that, it's going to be great. And the last point, which was the last thing I put in my track, which I want to say is I think in all the talk of matrix, technology, process, hiring, I think we forget sometimes that we're recruiting people and that people are at the centre of what we do and should be at the centre of all of our thinking in terms of these people. And that as recruiters or people involved in recruiting, whatever titles you might have in that, ultimately we have two things. We have responsibility. You know, yes, we have responsibility to hiring companies, but we change people's lives. You know, we have the biggest single impact. We help facilitate the decision of the single biggest impact of people's lives. And I think sometimes, because of the numbers, processes and technology involved, we forget that. We have a responsibility to these people to make sure that our decision is right and we hire the right people and their decision is right to come work for the right people. So with the recruiter comes responsibility and privilege. We should actually look on it as a privilege to be a recruiter, which I think we forget in kind of the battle all the time. It's a privilege to be a recruiter, so no, I've loved it. So I think we should take that and say, it is a privilege, we do have a responsibility, and we need to keep pushing the boundaries. True's the way we do that. I was delighted to announce the next event, which is going to be True South Africa in November, as well as True Amsterdam in the same month, so we kind of got two great events, but go check out the site and the video for that. And True Australia on December the 1st. I might just be plotting something for October, but keep your eyes peeled about that, because that's going to be a different type of event. Thanks for listening, everyone. It's been emotional.